Good morning, my dear friends. Welcome to my channel or welcome back. My name is Sarita. I have had a lot of candles just sitting on my countertop from when I was in Columbus, and I just kind of bought all kinds of random things. Some at Bath & Body Works, some at Yankee, some at TJ Maxx, some at Barnes & Noble. So I just want to talk about the stuff that I got, and then I can put it in its respective places. How does that sound? Let's start out with Bath & Body Works. So Bath & Body Works, look what I found for 75% off. Ube and Wildberry. Gosh, this candle smells so good. I said in a previous candle video that I think they made a mistake not bringing this one out here at the end of summer, because for some people the ube aspect of this candle and the berryness of it takes them to a psychological place having to do with desserts and fun fruit, etc., which is so great for the end of summer. But then to me, there's a very starchy, almost sweet potato and pumpkin spice aspect to this, which just is an amazing transition into fall. It has the distinction of being one of the dirtiest candles I think I've ever burned, but performed great in terms of strength and throw and is really lovely. It is, although it's a straight up kind of gourmandy candle. Instead of bringing back that whatever it is, jasmine and currant candle in the neutrals, which is 1,000 Wishes, they should certainly have brought this one back. So I was glad to get one for 75% off, but I think it's a real mistake to have brought that back. Then I have, I found this one too, thank God, Yumi in the Sea for 75, so great. I'll probably never burn that one. I really hope it comes back. Such an amazing herbal aquatic, so great, so great. It has an austerity and an authenticity, really fantastic, and it actually performed fairly well in terms of strength and throw. Then we have 3 new ones. I did pick up Mixed Berry Crumble, but I don't know if I'm gonna keep it. It's a little too gourmandy for me. So the notes on this one are freshly picked berries, buttery crumble topping, and cinnamon sugar. I don't know if this is straight up blueberry to me. I want it to be just blueberry, but I think it's like a berry accord. I think it has some raspberry in here too, which had a lot of people thinking that it was raspberry thumbprint or happy Hanukkah. Don't get me wrong, I think it's probably close to those. But for me, it's a little bit more jammy and less donutty, yeasty, whatever. It does have a nuance of crumble. And for me, it's the crumble that would make it a deal breaker because I'm just not a gourmand person. Did you guys pick this one up? Does it perform well? Is it worth keeping? I don't know. Then there was this one, Cranberry and Gala apple, looking like this. This is a new one, and it's Gala apple, tart cranberry, and pinch of cinnamon. So this should be pretty fall-like. Maybe a little too fall for an early fall / summer wave. This one just seems, this is gonna go back. It just seems anemic to me. It's weak. Yeah, it does have cinnamon. It's not that bad of a cinnamon. Like, it doesn't go candy red, but it's not completely dried baking spice either. And it's got some apple, and it's got some other sort of vague currant-like note, but it's just not strong on anything. To be honest, the strongest note here is the cinnamon, and the cinnamon isn't even that loud. And my man, Kevin In-N-Out, got it and thought that it was nothing to write home about even after he had burned it. So I think this one is going back. It's a no for me. There are just so many great apple candles. Why waste your time, right? And then this one I really don't know about. This is sugared lemon and spice, which I was not gonna pick up and really just picked up for the sake of a video. So it's lemon zest, fresh cardamom, and sugared ginger. I don't think I'm gonna keep it. It's just, for me, the deal breaker is actually the candied lemon note. I hate it when Bath & Body Works does the really sparkling effervescent citrus. Don't get me wrong, this is not as effervescent as most of their other citrusy candles, but it's very candied. So think of like a candy, a lemon hard candy, for instance. And then there's just kind of a nuance of more austere notes underneath. To be honest, I would have said cinnamon. Cinnamon, and yes, ginger too. And the ginger kind of has a candied aspect to it as well. This is just kind of a candied candle, to be honest. I would say most of this is candied, and the cinnamon and ginger that are not candied are just not adding enough for me. To get behind a real lemon and spice kind of candle, I think I would want a better ratio of spice to lemon and less of a candiedness. So I kind of doubt I'm gonna hang on to that one. All right, I've got 2 Yankee candles. So I was at a Yankee outlet at a outlet mall. Gosh, I dread going into this specific Yankee candle because there is the manager of the store. I think he's the manager. The manager of the store is beyond rude. I mean, beyond. Like, I have to psych myself up just to go into the store. He's terrible. Every time I'm there, I just like try to get through it. And the whole time I'm gritting my teeth being like, I need to call the corporate office and complain. But I just never do. And I actually don't even know if Yankee Candle like handles the outlet stores. But at any rate, I needed to return some of the new fall candles, you know, because I got those fall wax melts. But I'm not ready yet to, I don't have a centerpiece, and I really just did it for the purposes of the video. I am going to buy several of them once they come out in the 3-wick, but they're not out in the 3-wick, at least in the Yankees that I've been at yet. So I was just returning those. And he got all up in my face and was like, so are you just coming into my store to return product, or are you actually gonna buy something? And I was like, I guess buy something. He's just so, he's beyond horrible, beyond. I saw a stack of all of these sweet mediums off to the side, and given that it's like an outlet store, because I haven't seen mediums for a hot minute in most regular Yankee Candle stores, this particular modern apothecary design is going by the wayside, which actually makes me just irrationally sad, because I've actually grown very attached to these and didn't even realize how attached I was until they discontinued them. And I love this medium because it's exactly the same diameter as the large ones, and it's exactly the same number of wicks. It's just less of a candle. So it is the perfect, like, Goldilocks size for me. So it makes me very angrified to see these go away. Anyway, they had a whole stack of them. So I was like, well, which ones here? Because they're like 50% off or something. Which ones here have I either not burned for a long time or never burned and want to burn? So I got this one, smoked vanilla and cashmere, which smells kind of the way that you would think it would. To me, it almost has like a marshmallow fireside kind of feel to it. Less smoky and a little bit more fresh, but it's not so fresh that it goes like laundry day, for instance. It's really nice. I like it. I am a little concerned about strength and throw. And then the second one that I got was silver, sage, and pine. And it's just, yeah, a really nice, what I would call a dirty pine, you know, like a dirty martini or something. because it's got some of that like earthy moss herbal in there too. Yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. It's basic, but I like a good tree fragrance, and there's enough authenticity there I can get behind. My sister-in-law bought me this little candle in Hemingway's garden down in the Keys. This is orange blossom, jasmine, and citrus. It's loud. It's a loud candle. And a little more synthetic than I would like, but the proof will be in the burning. And what is good about it is that it is not a shy candle. So despite its size, I might actually get a really good burn from that. Okay, when I was at Barnes & Noble, have you guys been to Barnes & Noble lately? So I used to work at Barnes & Noble. I worked full-time at Barnes & Noble for about 4 or 5 years, actually. Way back in the day, you know? I was in my early 20s, late teens. It was a different world. It was a different world. I was trying to explain to somebody who was younger the other day, and I was like, we had the internet and we even had Amazon, but honestly, like the algorithms weren't the same. Like you couldn't just find things on the internet. Like you just couldn't. You couldn't find things on Amazon, you know, unless you had a very specific ISBN and it was a specific kind of book, etc. And if you had any kind of vague sense of what you were looking for, like you could not find it on the internet. What would positively save you time is if you got in your car and drove to Barnes & Noble or B. Dalton and you walked up to the customer service desk and you asked one of the booksellers there about your book and try to describe it, and they're experts and they might be able to find it for you. Literally, it would save you time. It would also save you time even if they didn't have the book in the store and had to order it for you, and it would come in 5 to 7 business days and they would give you a call and you would come in and pick it up physically. Literally, that entire process would save you time over searching for it on the internet. And like, these young people are just staring at me blankly like, I don't know what you're talking about. They're like, were you just not good at searching for things? Did you not have a good search engine? I'm trying to explain to you. It was a different world. Oh my gosh, I remember holidays like the entire month of December at Barnes & Noble. And I remember, because I was at a fancy one that had 2 levels and escalators going up. And I remember looking down from the escalator to the floor during like prime time holiday season. And there's the guest service center in the middle, like this like circular thing. And literally so many people standing 5, 7 people deep all the way around guest services trying to get a bookseller's attention. You could not see the floor. There were that many people. Like, since the internet though, and since the algorithms are good and Amazon and everything, like we don't have those kinds of like retail moments anymore. But anyway, God bless. That was the Barnes & Noble that I worked for. I hadn't really like gone into one for a while, and I know that there was a moment where we all thought that they were just gonna like go bankrupt. I think B. Dalton did. There was another big competitor that did, and then it looked like Barnes & Noble was also going to have Chapter 11 or whatever, and somehow they hung on. And I am so proud of them, because I walk into these stores now, not the one that we have, a one-horse town here. So the Barnes & Noble here is actually kind of similar to the one that I remember from 20 years ago, because it obviously hasn't had the updates and it hasn't had the renovations, etc. But if you're in a fairly large city, Barnes & Nobles are completely different now. I mean, they're completely restructured. Like whole departments that, like, if you're an old person, you still remember, like a music department with like CDs, completely gone. And actually, the only real albums you'll see are vinyl now, oddly, because they're retro, right? The maps department used to be a huge thing, right? Maps, all the atlases, gone. Like, it's just so crazy how the world has changed in like 30 years. Anyway, close parentheses. Barnes & Noble is now doing brisk business in all kinds of like paper and craft and like gifty kind of products. They become like a papyrus and a Hallmark and all kinds of different things. And they still have a great deal of books as well. I'm actually very impressed, and what I love to see is like people who have business sense. It just makes me so happy. Anyway, they sell candles every now and then, and I found these on the clearance shelf. So this is an Apotheke right here, charcoal, which is one of the big long-standing candles for Apotheke that I kind of had my eye on. I'm wanting to try some Apotheke ones. And I also want to compare it to the Nest charcoal woods. Is that what it is? Yeah. I've always kind of liked this one, at least on cold, a little bit better than the charcoal woods from Nest, which is like, it's really aggressive. Like the kind that makes you kind of feel like something is really burning down in your house. So I'm really happy, and I obviously got it for $20. So yeah. And then there was Thymes. So you guys know Thymes from like Fraser Fir fame. This is a fresh cut basil that I got for 15 bucks. And yeah, I liked it. It's kind of a jelly-like wax here. Does it say? It doesn't say what wax they're using. Anyway, basil leaf, tomato leaf, sage, blackcurrant, blood orange, petitgrain. Yeah, it's just kind of like fresh floral, not listed, and kind of green viney. And I was like, yes, please, for $15. I'm always looking for another Thymes candle to try out. And most of them, and I've said this before, most of them are a little on the dated side. It's a company that that markets itself toward an older clientele, and in fact has grown with that older clientele. So now they're just kind of like old, but still staying current with their Fraser Fir. Some of their other fragrances are just very like Crabtree and Evelyn, you know, but this one smells pretty fresh, so I'm really happy, and it's probably a more recent one. Okay, then I have this I got this from TJ Maxx for $12.95, and it's from Paddywax. There's been a lot of Paddywax candles lately. This is blue sage and lavender. Ooh, and I love the way this smells. To be honest, it almost smells like green basil more than anything else. And maybe it's just the combination of the particular sage and lavender that they're using. But there are a lot of candles out there, a la this one, that advertise that it's a green basil note, but it's not really a green basil note, because I think it must be kind of hard to capture it. This one smells awfully green basil-like, but isn't that nice? Look, it's like a glass vessel, and it's a triple wick. So I'm really happy with that, because with Paddywax, more wicks is better, if you know what I mean. Then and this is the last thing, when I was traveling back to Virginia, I stopped in Becker, West Virginia, and stopped at a mall to go to a Bath and Body Works, and they had a random Hallmark there. I was on my way to the restrooms, and I just, out of the corner of my eye, saw the candles, you know, because you're like a radar. Where's the candles? So I walked in, and they had a lot of Yankee, and then they had Swan Creek, and they had Candleberry, actually. I'm interested by Candleberry because it's like one of the last ones that's really strong paraffin kind of company. But to be honest, like this is not really my vibe. I'm not really a country girl. And both of these companies are very like, they're like the old Yankee Candle in that they have a distinctly country kitchen gourmand kind of vibe. Most of their candles are like pretty like standard gourmand kind of fragrances, desserts, whatnot. And that's not, I just don't do that. I do more of like the conceptual stuff. I like the masculine stuff. I like the botanical stuff, etc. So I don't know that these are, either one of them are companies that I would be able to even fill much of an online cart with. But when I was there, I found two amazing coffee candles. And in honor of Freshly Brewed Coffee, which is a surprisingly good little coffee candle from Bath & Body Works, which is making its way. I think they do have one on the floor right now that is coffee, freshly brewed coffee. Is it in, I think it's in this, this packaging, or is it an online exclusive? I think we're gonna see freshly brewed coffee in a couple different formats if I had to guess. Anyway, that's a great candle, and I will probably be repurchasing that one, but I'm always chasing a great coffee candle, and I thought, hey, maybe I'll do a candle review and do a compare and contrast of these and like freshly brewed. So this is Swan Creek Roasted Espresso, and they had a couple different coffee ones, but for my money, this one smelled the best. Woo, super bold, super bold. This is soy. Is it just completely soy? Gosh, it might be, because it says reaction between pure soy wax and the high percentages of quality fragrance oil. And one of the funky things about like Swan Creek is they always leave some of the like wax beads kind of unmelted there at the top. I don't know why, just for texture. It's so good. And to be honest, very similar to freshly brewed coffee from Bath & Body Works. It's just a real bold, dark, roasty kind of blend. Really not a whole lot of cream or sugar. This one I wanted in a smaller variety, but apparently they don't sell this one in, all they did was wax melts, and I wasn't gonna get a wax melt. I really wanted to burn it. So this one is French roasted coffee, and they had a couple coffee scents too, but I thought this one was the best. Yeah. Very similar to this Goose Creek one, but a little bit weaker actually. This Goose Creek is knocking me out. Yeah, they're both very, very similar. This one might be a little louder and a little bit more dynamic, to be honest, but it's also been like sealed a lot better with this like mason jar, whereas this one is kind of a gasket and it's fairly loose, so it could just be down to that as well. It's got this on it. So, I mean, it's not gonna happen in a week, but at some point here, we're gonna have a candle moment and a candle video. So there you go. That's what I brought home. What do you guys think? I like them. I think they're nice. And a lot of them I can like burn here going into the fall. So I'm really happy with that. Yeah, I need to probably start burning though, if I want to, the blue sage and lavender and the fresh cut basil, because those are not, I actually think those are more spring ones. So maybe I'll just put them back in deep storage and do them for spring. Yeah. And then obviously this Apotheke is a fall, so is the silver sage, so is the smoked vanilla cashmere. Frankly, so are these two. I am gonna take back sugared lemon and spice and cranberry and Gala apple. And I'm really on the fence about this one, just am. So there you go. That's what I've got. I also have another haul coming up, which is the vintage Bath & Body Works ones that I got off of Facebook Marketplace. I think I've got like, I don't know, 8 to 10. So stay tuned for that because that's always really, really fun. All right, thanks for joining me. We will have a Christmas in July review on Wednesday. So special Christmas candle Wednesday that I have been burning in the summer. I'll catch you in the next one.